So I wanted to show you a great AI platform for teachers. This is called Curipod. And if you look, I've already started, and all you have to do is you go in and you ask Curipod to create a lesson for you. So the lesson that I've asked for it to create is basically a introductory lesson about the 1920s and the history of the 1920s so that students can have that understanding before reading The Great Gatsby. So what I do is after I've typed in that information, it asks me for a little bit of follow-up information. And then I told them, this is one thing I want to do before reading Great Gatsby, and it already came up with a subject, grade level, the objective, how long it's going to take, and the instructional intent. All I have to do is press generate lesson, and then I choose whatever theme I want. And it'll already start to create an introductory lesson, which it'll do this in 2 to 3 minutes, and something like this would maybe take me an hour and a half to 2 hours. And so the time that is saved by using a platform like this is incredible. But not only that, is you can go in and edit any of the slides if you don't think it's appropriate for the lesson, or if you want to take a different direction with it. But also what I love about Curipod is it really does a good job of engaging the students and making it more of an interactive introductory lesson, which sometimes we struggle as teachers to do that because that takes a lot of work. So this takes a lot of the really hard thinking and time out of an introductory lesson, which means I now have more time to do other things such as grade papers, provide feedback, maybe do different professional development instead of spending an hour and a half to 2 hours on an introductory lesson. So what I want to show you on this screen is it's telling me it's generating a 30-minute lesson on the objective of explaining 2 specific ways the 1920s economic boom and rise of consumer culture shaped the social setting presented in The Great Gatsby, which is perfect. I mean, that is wonderful that it's already set that up for me. And it's just telling me right now that it can take up to 2 to 3 minutes to create. Normally, if it's a 30-minute lesson, it will probably have about 13 or 14 slides is what I've noticed in creating these lessons. So right away, what it's doing is it's creating slides based upon what I've asked it to do. So here in the beginning, it already says, how did the 1920s consumerism shape Gatsby's world? This is what I am now going to present to my students. So this could easily become now a presentation. The kids can actually join it live on a laptop. As I present, they can go along with me because there's going to be some interactive things. So the first thing I love is that it already has the objective, because we always talk to kids about our objectives and our learning intentions, and it's done that for me right here. So by the end of this, I want the kids to be able to explain 2 clear ways that the 1920s boom and the new consumer culture shaped the world of The Great Gatsby. The very first thing it does is it asks kids, it says smartphones drop each year and many teens line up to grab the newest model for its sleek look and social buzz. And right away it says sketch an item you bought mainly because friends said it was cool. So right away the kids are asked to engage with the lesson, which sometimes it's hard for us to create or come up with ideas of how to engage them right off from the start, but Curipod does that for us. And then now I'm going into the actual lesson. I like this because it has a good balance of here's information the kids need, and it's a sit and get where they like maybe take notes. So on this first slide, this is all about the economic boom forces. And if you look at the bottom, it says mass production and easy credit and large incomes and access. And together they fueled glittering, restless world Fitzgerald capture. So it's already connecting what we are going to read in the book with this historical information. So it talks about mass production, it talks about easy credit, and this is something that I would have had to have gone and researched myself. So I love this because it already is creating the historical impact that I want to talk about, or historical events that I want to talk about with the students that had something to do with Gatsby without me spending hours doing that research. And then the next thing is conspicuous consumption. So it says on the count of 3, answer together, what is the best term for buying items mainly to be noticed? And so it's once again engaging the students. And then I have a little bit of information on what conspicuous consumption is. And then if you look at the bottom, it also talks about Fitzgerald. So it's connecting everything I've asked it to do. It is connecting already in this presentation. There are also polls. We want the students to, obviously engage with what we are presenting. And so they have polls. This says, which scene best shows conspicuous consumption in Gatsby? And the kids can go right there where it says join at Curie Live with this pin, and then the kids can be a part of that poll. So once again, this is an incredible interactive lesson throughout. So this essentially will probably create about 14 slides for me. And in the end of these 14 slides, there is normally some sort of checking for understanding that related to the objective that students had to visit in the beginning. And that's what I also love about this, is it doesn't just like stop and then kids move on. We, at the end of this, after I've gone over all the information, slide 8 is more information about old money versus new money. Slide 9 has kids, once again, interact because they have to list traits that these groups share and traits that are unique to each. So once again, they're engaging. But in the end here, it does ask them to apply their knowledge. So it has a discussion, and usually at the end, it also has an exit ticket. So this is an incredible platform to use if teachers are interested. And the point of me showing you this is that teachers need to know about this type of thing to help them save time, get the kids engaged, get the kids doing interactive things. But once again, this would have taken me an hour and a half to 2 hours, where it took CuraPod 3 minutes to create. So this is just one example of artificial platforms that can really help teachers.